Hey bub, don't forget to subscribe to the channel.
Welcome back to the X-Centric Collector channel. I'm Talent the X-Centric Collector, and today, carrying on with the Nemesis BAF wave, we're going to be covering Marrow. Let's get into it.
Cerebro online.
Cerebro, pull up file Marrow Nemesis BAF wave 2025.
Accessing file. Marrow Nemesis Build-A-Figure Wave 2025. Retail price $24.99. Accessories: alternate hands, bone blades, Nemesis left arm.
Now this is a figure I have been wanting in Marvel Legends forums since Marvel Legends started with Toy Biz. I still have a Marrow action figure from the original Generation X Toy Biz line that I love. That figure was so cool. They had bones that you could actually plug into her legs and I think like her back. And then they had the bones like coming out of her head. That was the more gross looking Marrow. Great figure. I wouldn't mind getting a Marvel Legends version of that one as well, but I'll take what I can get, and this figure is awesome. She comes in the new compact box with the window so we can see all the good stuff we're getting inside. There's some great artwork on the sides of the back of the box. There's also a blurb on the back that reads, "Once a member of the Morlocks, a community of outcast mutants, Marrow has the ability to manipulate bone growth." She comes with a pair of alternate hands, as well as bone knives, and the Nemesis left arm BAF piece. And the BAF piece comes with an alternate hand as well. Let's take a look at Marrow out of the package. Here's another one of these X-Men that I absolutely adore. This is Marrow. Why do I adore her? Because she's gross and weird. And I love the more weird powers with the X-Men. And she's probably one of the weirder ones. As you can see, she has these bone growths coming out. She's got like down her spine, coming out of her back. She's got them on her kneecaps, kind of using them as armor. And another beautiful head sculpt by Hasbro. She looks fantastic. She was formerly a Morlock before briefly joining the X-Men. So I think when I first remember seeing her was in Generation X. She was one of the villains, but ended up joining the X-Men. She has not too much looking down. A little bit, well, there we go. You could push it. She can look way up. Yeah, not bad. Her arms go up about, well, see, yeah, that much. She has a rotation, so you can actually get her arms like straight up if you wanted to. Double jointed pinless elbows. That is fantastic. Yeah, that's great. Her wrists can bend, swivel, and then she has an ab crunch. Not too much forwards. Whoa, yeah, a lot back. Her legs go out about that much. She has an upper thigh swivel, double jointed pinless knees. That's awesome. And then of course she has the traditional ankle. This one's a little stiff. Traditional ankle back and forth, and then the rocker there. Yes, 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 yes. You're going to be able to get this lady into some sick poses. I've already seen people posing this thing online. They've got her in some really low stances, looking like a badass. She just looks so good. No waist swivel, which is they don't really do often on female figures for some reason. I don't know why that is, but she does look good. She looks just like I remember when she joined the X-Men in the comics. I wouldn't mind another Marrow in her Morlock outfit when she was fighting Generation X, but yeah, she looks good. She came with 2 additional hands, so she's got, if you see, the hands I have on her are hands to hold knives, bone knives. She came with 2 additional hands. We have a fisted hand and sort of a martial arts karate chop hand that you can also use to, like, you know, put it flat on the ground. But yep, 2 additional hands. And then the best accessory she came with is, of course, her bone daggers. She's got these sick powers to be able to grow bones, and then she like rips them out of her body and uses them as weapons, as well as creating armor on herself, which you see on the figure. But yeah, that just looks great. She is perhaps one of, no, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say it. She's my favorite figure out of the wave. Other than the BAF. I haven't seen that yet. We haven't put it together yet, so I'm not sure, but just out of the figures, the BAF, it's not really a fair comparison because BAFs are normally bigger and, you know, more detailed and stuff, but in this case, out of all the other figures, Marrow was the one I was most excited for, and she did not let me down. She looks great. Let's get a little more into the history of Sarah, aka Marrow.
Marrow, Sarah Nucky. First appearance, Cable number 15, September 1994. Created by Jeff Loeb, writer, David Brewer, artist.
Marrow first appeared in Cable number 15 in 1994. In that issue, she was simply known as Sarah, a Morlock child that had witnessed the mauling of Angel by the Marauders and the massacre of her fellow Morlocks. She was saved by Gambit, who was not yet a member of the X-Men, and was actually hired by Mr. Sinister to lead the Marauders into the Morlock tunnels. Having survived the Morlock genocide, Mikhail Rasputin brought the surviving Morlocks, including Marrow, to another dimension, where time passed more quickly. There, Mikhail raised them in a society based on social Darwinism with the philosophy of survival of the fittest, very similar to Apocalypse. Sarah's powers manifest while in this dimension, and she was forced to become a savage killer, eliminating any opponent she came across. Mikhail found her to be a perfect fit to join and lead his mutant terrorist group known as Gene Nation. Gene Nation's main goal was to punish humans for their hatred towards mutants. When they returned to our dimension, she came into conflict with the X-Men and Generation X. The X-Men defeated Gene Nation after several battles. After Gene Nation's defeat, Marrow challenged Storm to a battle to the death. Storm ripped Marrow's heart out. However, it turned out Marrow had 2 hearts as part of her mutation, as well as having a healing factor, so she survived. She was then recruited by the most recent incarnation of the Weapon X program. While there, she underwent extensive procedures that helped her gain control of her power and normalized her appearance. Sometime later, during Operation Zero Tolerance, a Prime Sentinel nearly killed Callisto, the leader of the Morlocks, who then told Marrow to seek out the help of the X-Men. That led to Marrow joining the X-Men for a short time and coming under the mentorship of Wolverine. And now let's take a look at Marrow's powers and abilities.
Powers and abilities: superhuman strength, stamina, durability, agility, reflexes, and tracking, controlled bone growth, healing factor, street fighting skills, weapon proficiency.
Marrow possesses many powers, but perhaps the one she is most known for is controlled bone growth, which is due to a hyper-accelerated metabolism. She has the ability to control the growth, shape, and toughness of her bone structure. Her bones are naturally more durable than normal humans. She has a healing factor, which allows for enhanced healing, which comes in handy when your main power is pulling bones from your body. She also has dual hearts. Although Storm did rip one of them out, it eventually grew back. She possesses enhanced strength as well as superhuman agility and reflexes. She is proficient in the use of bladed weapons as well as hand-to-hand combat and specializes in street fighting. She is also a proficient tracker. Let's see how these powers rank on the grid. Cerebro, please pull up the power grid.
Accessing power grid. Analyzing subject.
You can find these grids on the backs of various Marvel trading cards as well as marvel.fandom.com. Our first category is strength. She's at a 4, world record bench press strength. Part of her mutation has granted her strength well beyond that of a normal human. Moving on to our next category, intelligence. She's at a 3. She has an above average IQ. Most people look down on the Morlocks as pitiful creatures of lesser intelligence. I mean, why would you be living in the sewers? And although she has no formal education, she is a highly intelligent woman. This made her a formidable leader of Gene Nation. Our next category is speed. She's at a 3. She possesses superhuman speed. She's capable of reaching speeds in excess of 115 miles per hour, perhaps making her the fastest Morlock there is. And on to our next category, fighting ability. And this is where Sarah really shines. She's at a 6, Terminator level. She's up there with the likes of Wolverine himself. And it makes sense. She was mentored by Logan, as well as other superior fighters like Callisto. There are few people that can stand up to this vicious fighter. Although her fighting style is not super disciplined, it is devastatingly efficient. Marrow is not somebody you want to go up against. It's best to keep your distance. This woman is bad to the bone. And our next category is durability. She's at another 4, enhanced human level. This makes her somewhat difficult to permanently injure. This is due to her healing factor and her enhanced bone structure. She is capable of growing bone armor on the outside of her body, as well as reinforcing her internal structure. She is super sturdy and perhaps the most durable of the Morlocks. Moving on to agility, she's at another 4, peak human agility. She is significantly above average. She can easily evade attacks and often incorporates impressive acrobatics into her fighting style. And for our final category, energy blast, she's at a 1. She has no energy projection. There's nothing in her power set that allows her to project any sort of energy blasts. And thank God, because she is already pretty much OP at this point. Looking at her overall stats, she is well above average in all categories, with the exception of energy projection. This makes her a very formidable mutant, with her strength, durability, agility, all at 4s, and her intelligence and speed at a 3, not to mention her fighting ability at a whopping 6. She is a deadly opponent for anyone who comes up against this hot-headed Morlock. One would be wise to keep their distance and stay out of the way of Marrow. Lucky for the good guys, she turned over a new leaf and decided to fight for what's right. Marrow has only been depicted in the comics so far, but it would be great to see her in a movie or even in the X-Men 97 cartoon. There was a character in X-Men Evolution that was based on her named Spike, but he was just a knockoff that they put in there. Not sure why they didn't just run with the original recipe. That would have been much better. Perhaps one day we'll actually get to see her in X-Men 97. And speaking of X-Men 97, Cerebro, let them know.
Be sure to check out X-Men 97 Reactions with Talent. Don't forget to subscribe.
Definitely do go check out my reaction videos. I've done X-Men 97, Legion, and Daredevil so far, and I got more coming. Well, that's all for this one. I'm Talent the X-Centric Collector reminding you, keep collecting. And until next time, Excelsior!